Listen, if you know it's time for you to really go all in on your side hustle while working full time, then this video is for you. As you're going into 2026 and you're like, you know what? I'm going to start creating my own bonus. I told people in another video, I created my own bonus while I was working full time. My job offered a bonus. I didn't get it. And so I decided to go all in on my side business, and I made $80K while working full time in my side business. So this video is for you if you are someone that likes to share their expertise in coaching, consulting, providing done for you services, some kind of service, and you are also working full time. I want to help you manage your full-time job while also working your side hustle. So I've been coaching so many women over the last couple of years around launching their side business, consulting, coaching, or what have you, and they're still working full-time. And I mean, when I say working full-time, they are directors, they are executive directors, they are managers, senior directors. They are, big deals in their companies, but they still desire to not just make side money so that they can do more things in their personal life, but they desire to have impact. And so many of them, because this is a passion, they still want to do it while they're working full time. And most of them actually like their job. And it's consistent income to help them with their family and all the things. So they don't want to leave. And that's nothing wrong with that. So the first thing you will want to do if you're like starting from scratch, you're like, okay, Des, I work full time. I already know that I have potential clients because I've been kind of putting out there in the world that I want to start offering this service. And I'm nervous about doing it because I know when I do it, I'm going to have to manage it with my full-time job. Help me get it together. So the first thing I would say is go ahead and just decide what your offer is to the people. If you already have people that are attracted to working with you, decide what the offer is going to be. And it's easier to decide what the offer is going to be when you think about how much time do you really have for fulfillment. So when I was working full-time, I was traveling about 70% of the time, and so I knew that I didn't have that much time to fulfill very large service opportunities. So if people wanted me to do a lot of face-to-face time, if it was going to be more than 10 hours a week, I'm like, yeah, that's not going to work for me. So I created offers that aligned with the way that I already had time for myself to do things in my business. So it had to be something either on the weekends, something that if it was like a full day, so sometimes I had to do like a retreat or do something for a client that was a full day, it had to be during a time frame where I could actually take off work. And I would do things that were either before work time or after work time or when I, had a lunch hour to kind of get away. So it had to be something that fit within that. And because I had so much travel and training that I did full day, a lot of things happened at night or in the weekends. But I also wanted to take care of myself. If you've been following my channel, you know I'm all about that balance, that soft life CEO. So I wanted to make sure that I wasn't spending a whole bunch of hours doing things after work because I would have been depleted, wouldn't have been able to give my client as much as I could. So I did high ticket like one-on-ones. So my one-on-ones range from $5,000 to $20,000. So that helped me not to have to need a whole lot of clients, which leads me to part two. When you're thinking about your offer, which is number one, think about what is it that you want to offer that is going to be aligned with the time that you have at work and make it the most bang for your buck for the time that you have. The second thing you get to do when you're thinking about this is like, well, what do I want to make and how many people do I want to serve? If you're all about impact, that's cool. Think about, well, how many clients would it be reasonable for me to take on and what would be the best ones for me to take on, given like you want to spend time with people you really love working with. This is when you get to kind of like 10 toes down. What is that customer that you really love working with? What's the problem that you really love solving? So that when you're not working, you're not feeling so overwhelmed or just bogged down by the fact that, oh, now I got to serve these clients. I'm tired. I don't know if I feel like doing it. Well, you might have picked the wrong clients. You might have picked the wrong problem to be solved. Now, real talk, you're going to have times when you're not feeling great, especially after work. Sometimes you're going to be tired. You're going to have to give yourself some kind of buffer after work into the time that you're going to be spending time with your clients. But nevertheless, even when you do that, you want to make sure it's the work that you actually want to do, people you actually want to work with, and problems that you love solving that are easy for you to solve, so it's not such a heavy lift. So consider, how much do I want to make? Who is the person that I would really, really, really love working with after I've decided the kind of offer that fits my schedule? And then, finally, it's like it gets down to that price point. how much you want to make and the price point matters. So number 2 is like the price point, the amount that you want to make. But number 3 is like, okay, what's the price point? You got to make the price point work for how you want to operate in your business, because otherwise you're going to get to the end of, the year, or the end of the whatever kind of months that you want to give yourself to kind of like throw yourself out there. You're going to feel like the time that you're spending, the impact that you're having doesn't feel like equivalent, because it's like, yo, I'm charging $500 and I still feel like, I feel like I'm not being successful. So you need to create an offer, who you're talking to, and the amount that you're, having people invest in this offer in themselves, so that you can feel good about what you're doing at the end of the day. Because if you don't feel good about it, you're not going to keep doing it. And so other little nuances, these are some bonus things. So other little nuances that go with working full time is making sure that the work that you're doing is not a conflict of interest. And so when you're considering what you're doing, make sure you read that company handbook and make sure you're not doing anything that's a conflict of interest. Making sure that you keep real lines clear with your work time and what you're going to do, in your business, so that you would never be looked at as someone that is like stealing company time. So I was very conscious of making sure that I did things like at night, on the weekends, or if I took off, I was doing things for my business on the times that I decided to take off for it. And so making sure I wasn't working with clients that my current company was working with, that would be a conflict of interest. So just making sure that you're following those guidelines. The other thing is, and this is probably the hardest thing that I've seen most people that I worked with deal with, is that they're afraid to be in these internet streets about their business when they're working full time. And so I'm really, really passionate about helping people message how they talk to their employer about the things that they do outside of work, because it's going to be seen in the internet streets. There are some people that I know that do things like faceless channels, or they have a following without, really showing who they are. And that's fine. But most of us, especially if we're thought leaders, if we're experts in certain areas of our life, your name is going to be out there. You're going to be seen. And so being able to have like that real talk conversation with your employer about the work that you're doing, or making sure that your relationship with them is in such a way that if they saw it, it would not be a big deal, because they already know you're doing things for yourself. Again, that conflict of interest is a big thing to, make sure you're following the guidelines on. So once you know that, you should be good. But even still, I work with clients that they get that conflict of interest. They know that they're not doing anything that is in conflict, but they still feel really timid about being on the internet, sharing their expertise, sharing their thought leadership. And so I implore you to get over that hump, so that you can start doing the thing that God has called you to do, to impact others with your services. And it's something that can really help you along the lines when you're looking for extra income. And, in this economy or what have you, you're working full time. A lot of people have been laid off, or reorgs have happened. To be able to have a sustainable side hustle can really help your future and the sustainability of your lifestyle in case anything happens. So I hope you love this video. And if you did, go ahead and click below, because I have a change challenge coming up at the top of December. It is back by popular demand. I did it at the end of September for people that wanted to see a full change in the way that they do their life and their business and their leadership before 2026. And so if you are interested in being a part of that change challenge, go ahead and click below. I would love to see you there, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye.